We have a quorum, so let's roll this. We're ready to go. Stuart, if you wouldn't mind muting your microphone just as we're going through it. Well, we'll call for public comments in a minute if you have any, but let's call the meeting to order here at, is it 10:08? And we do have a quorum. We have three. And Mary Ann is on an excused absence, and I don't know about Bob or Frank. Public comments. Stuart, anything to say?
I have no public comments.
Okay, thank you. My remarks are going to be brief. You've seen the traffic lately with the notification going to every park member or every Ocean Pines member. Sorry, I got confused. And the check is waiting at the admin building. I'm going to run up when we finish this, take it over to the post office in Ocean City, and they will be in the mail today. So they should start to arrive like Monday or something in people's mailboxes. That's all I had. I don't have any input from Frank Brown, so we'll just pass on BOD liaison. I will tell you that I have been in touch with the secretary, Cammie Rogers, because of course all this is her responsibility in that position, and she has a very good dental excuse for not being with us. You don't want to know. It's made my teeth hurt just to talk to her yesterday. So minutes of the prior meeting, Mark, you posted those. Thank you. The one change we want to do is that we don't define the date of the potential secondary candidates closing. That's defined in the bylaws. And Carol, if I recall, you had it June 13th, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the third.
Oh, third Friday.
Yeah, the third Friday of June is what's in the candidate draw. Let me see. I didn't write it in my calendar, but I have it. Yeah, it's in the bylaws. It's actually stated in the bylaws. I think the only thing we wanted to play was a reminder.
Exactly.
Beforehand that this is what it should say.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so with that change to the minutes of the last meeting, are there any other changes or anything?
I didn't see.
Seeing none, we'll pass by general consent. Thank you. Report on mailing of the referendum meeting notice. I guess it was Tuesday. I got an email from Michelle Bennett and forwarding the meeting notice from our legal counsel about the referendum hearing, which will be the 27th, the morning of the 27th, 9 a.m. on Friday the 27th. Now, we are required to provide meeting notice at least 15 days in advance, which means basically it needs to go today. and it'll go today. We ran through, you saw the proofs. They started printing at 5 o'clock yesterday morning, and they fold, spindle, and mutilate, all that stuff. And all the mail is actually sitting over in the Ocean City post office waiting for our check. So when I drop that check, off it goes to Baltimore to be postmarked and sorted and sent to the destination post offices. So that was kind of interesting. Now, in that notice, it reminds us that within 30 days after the meeting, the ballot with the positions and the statement have to be distributed. So on the 27th, we start a 30-day clock to get out the mailing with a return envelope and all that stuff. So we're prepared, just new calendar items that we have. Always interesting. In fact, I think this is the first referendum for almost everybody that I'm aware of. I think the last one was the yacht club approval, and that was, gosh, what, 6 years ago, something like that. At any rate, this is kind of our first rodeo for a lot of people. Josh and I were talking about that the other day. Well, we're kind of breaking ground on this, but
I think there was one for the community center years ago too. That's
oh well, that could be. That's before my time.
yeah.
So we're the notice of the hearing is basically gone. And then after the public hearing, we'll have to send out and then collect back the ballots and count them and report the results. So that clock will be ticking. But we have the election process proceeding apace, and fortunately, we've got some schedule float yet, but we'll get to that in a moment. I don't know of any unfinished business. New business, I forwarded to you the response, the sole response that we got on the print and mail support contract. And I would request that we have a motion to approve that, please.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Carol.
Mark seconds it.
I seconded.
Okay, thank you. Any conversation or anything about that? I think it's real straightforward.
Just very happy. I mean, it's
okay. All those in favor, raise a paw.
Aye.
Stuart, did your dog do that? Did Max do that? Okay, thank you. We've already talked about the referendum mailing after the public meeting. Yep. The three questions for the candidates to answer. We really have to do that at the next meeting, which, as we spoke earlier, I think we all hope we can do it in person. And let's plan accordingly. I will get in touch with Bob Windsor. I know Marianne has been vaccinated. I don't know about Frank, but I'll check with those folks and make sure that we can do that. But I'd like you to think about those three questions. I'm not sure that they have been as productive as we had hoped that they would be. We tend to get pretty bland answers. And I'm wondering, do we want to be more specific? Do we want to put a question in there that is different from what we've asked before? So we've got a month to think about it, and just wanted to kind of stir your juices there and see what would you like to see candidates respond to. Of course, we'll have the forums where we can get much more specific, but that's kind of for next time. That'll be on the docket for approval, and then it'll go into the letter, which the candidates will receive when they file by the May 10 deadline. Any activity on the electronic voting subcommittee? I don't.
Not yet. Yeah, okay. Not really yet. I was looking into that thing, but I haven't done a spreadsheet yet. The one that the park used, of course, it would be considerably more money than it costs the park, because for every 500, it goes up a certain increments, and then right. The mailing, and there's a couple of loopholes I think we could get caught up in because of the mailing or the way we do things here, rather than according to the bylaws. So we keep looking at it. Okay. But it does seem viable in the next couple of years when they, feel as if we got our money's worth out of this.
Yeah.
Now the ballot, I wanted to ask you too, the ballots for the referendum, we can feed them into this system.
Well, yes, we sure can. But
okay, good.
They'll be so simple, right. Either yes or no. I'd almost see us getting together and, piling up the yeses and piling up the no's, and then count them.
Right.
I don't know that it's an effective use of a scanning and all that stuff. But we can talk about that. We've got 6 weeks to think about that.
Yeah, my only question was because the idea of using it, because we purchased it and you can use it for so many things for Ocean Pines. Right. It just might be a good process to use that. And
could be.
and of course too, the information is, the information comes forward in a much more professional, I think, look than
Yeah.
somebody making up a spreadsheet. And
Yeah.
credibility.
Well, we got to have that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we'll be counting those in an open meeting, so yeah, we'll have plenty of opportunity for people to see the process and
Right.
understand what's going on.
Okay.
Um, wow, we're flying through this, but we really only had one topic, and that was to consider the approval of the sole response to our IFB. So that's pretty straightforward. We'll get busier later in the season, won't we?
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Anything else? Incidentally, I appreciate you taking care of the timeline. I went into there and browsed through there. That's really cool. Oh, where did I put my pen? I will make sure that we have a meeting room assigned for us at the next month's meeting, at April meeting.
April 9th, right?
Right, 9th, yes. April 9th.
Okay. And I'll tell you, I wouldn't be concerned. I have the one vaccination shot, but I think that would have to be, you could almost make that a personal thing, because if we still wear masks or whatever, which we're encouraged to do,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why we'd have to have the whole, just in case, why we'd have to
Right.
have the whole team
Well,
vaccinated.
I'll let everybody know what the status of Bob and Frank are, and
Right.
we've talked about what we are, so we should be okay on that.
Good.
Any other things to talk about?
Yeah. I wanted to be sure I got the timeline right. You said from the 30 days from the meeting for the referendum. That's March 27th, right?
Well, just a minute. Let me. What the council said is the ballots, a copy of the proposal in the petition, a brief explanation of the proposal written by the petitioner, and a statement of position by the board of directors will be distributed not later than 30 days. So it has to be sent within 30 days. It doesn't say that it will have to be counted. So we don't have to have the response deadline. And one of the things we'll talk about when we have this thing that we're going to send, this piece of paper, is how long do we think members should have the ballot before the deadline? I mean, if we don't want it to be like 2 days or some silly thing, but we don't want it to be 6 months. So, with the election ballots, our goal is people could have those for 30 days. I think this is a simpler, more straightforward issue. I don't think we have to have a 30-day time for people to mull this over. But what do we think is a fair time to have so that people get the responses back?
Well, we had the issue with the postal service
Yeah.
mail being slow, so
Well, I think you may have heard when I talked about this bulk mailing we're going to do today is going to all mail which is posted on the Eastern Shore goes to Baltimore to be postmarked, sorted, and sent back to the destination. So if somebody drops an envelope mail into Ocean Pines for Berlin, it goes all the way to Baltimore, gets postmarked and photographed and all that stuff, and sent back to Berlin. It could take 3 days, could take more. I don't know, but that was one of the bitter lessons we learned out of the last election when we had so many late ballots. When Barbara Mikulski was the senior senator from Maryland, she preserved the Easton Sorting Center, and now that she's retired, it's gone. Apparently, I mean, I've asked several postal people, and it doesn't exist anymore. So everything has to go all the way to Baltimore, get processed, and then shipped back. Hey, no wonder it takes a while.
right. So when would we have to determine this?
Well,
turnaround date?
we have 30 days to send the material.
Okay,
I don't think we're going to take all that it's by the time the hearing is over, I expect to have the information that goes on one piece of paper. So we'll be able to send that out when Ruth Ann comes up with a list of eligible voters for us. So we'll be able to know when we're going to mail it, and then we establish 3 weeks, a deadline for return. But we need to know, and Josh will have a fair amount of burden on this, reminding people of the deadline isn't the day after you mail it. It's something you need to. I always use the analogy, kind of like consider it like a credit card payment. It's due in Fargo, North Dakota on a certain date, and you kind of figure out, how do I make sure I don't get a late charge? And you post it in plenty of time. Almost that kind of thinking. It needs to be in Berlin by a certain date. I need
right.
to put about a 3-day buffer in if I'm in Ocean Pines. If I'm further away, the buffer needs to be bigger. And people are having a hard time understanding that.
Right. Well, is there a time limit or when they have to be counted?
No, well,
So,
not according to the council. The statement is that all that material will be distributed not later than 30 days after the meeting.
okay,
Well, that's an easy deadline for us to hit, I think.
right. And that's 30 days from the 27th of March.
That's correct.
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah. And I think we can hit that very easily.
So it's distributed. So let's say it takes, we should give it a week. And this is the one with the reply envelopes and the ballot.
That's correct, yes.
So if we say it, let's give it a week to get out there.
10 days to
Yeah,
peruse?
I agree. I think 10 days give them, and then, it doesn't matter when we do the count, as long as we have a date that they can return it by.
That's right.
So as the returns come in, because then maybe that'll give us a couple of days grace.
Could be. Yeah. Well, we'll
I
make
agree,
that.
2 weeks.
Yeah, we may have to have a special meeting after the 27th to finalize these things. And again, my hope would be we could do it in person. Mark, are you still going to be up in New York in April?
No, I'll come down. You let me know when you need me. I'll be.
Well, we'll certainly give you plenty of notice, but yeah, maybe we could. April 2nd is Good Friday. That might not work for some.
I'll be down. I'm going to be down that for Easter, so I'll be in town.
Mhm.
Okay.
Is the office closed on Good Friday? OPA.
It probably is, yes. How about Wednesday, the 31st? Is that too early for you, Mark?
No, that's fine for me.
I mean, I'm hesitant to put it on April 1st. It just bothers me.
Right.
But yeah, let's plan a Wednesday, the 31st, just for the purpose of figuring out the referendum and mailing and response time and everything.
Right. Now, do we all have to be there in person? You want on the 27th? What is that?
Well, the public hearing,
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. That's the public meeting.
Josh, is that going to be broadcast or?
That's scheduled right now to be held in person, so we would record it and post it later, but it wouldn't be live.
Okay.
Yeah. there should be no effect, no impact on us of anything that is done there. I mean, people are going to be saying what they want to say. And then there's the petition, the question is fixed, I believe. The board will prepare a statement of their position. The petitioner will have a statement of their position, and then we have the ballot. It's not going to be pages and pages, I hope.
All right. So it wouldn't make sense for us to try and gather on the 27th.
I don't think so.
It doesn't sound like it. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Well, yeah, let's see if we can get together on the 31st and we should have the product that needs to go by then, and it should be defined. And I keep talking about it as an 8.5 by 11 feet. Hey, it could be legal paper. We don't know, but it's all black and white. It's not color. It's it's an easy print, quick print, cheap, relatively. The return envelope is going to be have to be done, and a process for making sure there's only one return per address. Like we normally do.
And Steve, will the mailing envelope to each member, will that be, we'll make it similar to the election ballot?
Yeah, it'll look similar. So we'll want to put something on the outside, referendum enclosed, action requested by, and put the date, the deadline
Very
on.
good. Very good.
Yeah.
And will we have our ballot box, our mailbox?
Oh, I'm sure, Sam. Yep.
Is that somewhere?
Yes, it'll be in the police department vestibule lobby, I guess. I saw that ballot box not long ago. I have personally verified that it exists. Now, don't ask me where I saw it, because at my age.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, so you have to get us a room for March 31st.
Right. And April 9th.
April 9th.
Yep.
And that 31st, are you going for 10 a.m. again?
Yes, please. Yep. It's a civilized time.
Yes.
Right, Mark?
Yes. Thank God.
Coffee.
Yeah. Carol, Steve Tuttle always wanted to start at 9.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark always said, "Oh, that's not civilized."
Really?
Thank God I won that one.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes. You and me both, brother. Okay. That's, gosh, I can't think of anything else we can talk about. We got some upcoming work, but it's all good.
Yeah.
So, any other business or anything?
Just to straighten out the meeting minutes from the last meeting, I had made a correction. I don't know if you had read it. Do you want me to put a date in about the?
It's the third Friday in June.
Okay.
Isn't that right, Carol?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. So that is the date, and our action is just to remind the board, because asking for more candidates is a board function, not ours.
Right.
Now,
And it was just right. It was just a matter of us clarifying the date.
Now, I don't know if you've seen lately, but they're advertising for search committee members, and I think they've got a few already.
Oh,
I don't know if it'll be an operational committee or not, but they're trying to woof that up a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very good.
Yeah, I saw that in the. I guess Ocean Pines this week. Whatever.
Right.
Good. Good.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are adjourned.
Okay, 10:32.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks for participating.